All right, I'll give it just a second to let people sign in.
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for our summer yoga flow with Meghan Luchies. And so thank you so much for coming back. We're so excited to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to teach again.
Yeah, and we're so excited that for this one, you brought your dog to go along with the summer reading theme.
Yes. Always being camera shy. This is Happy.
Yes, for Tails and Tales, if any of you don't already know. So with that, I will turn it over to you and Happy.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you all for joining me. And welcome to our summer yoga flow. As always, you don't need any equipment for this class, but if you do have a mat, grab a mat. If you don't have a mat, I would recommend a blanket or something just to cushion your knees. Otherwise, if you like to use yoga blocks, go ahead and grab blocks. If not, if you don't have blocks, no big deal. Sometimes like a soup can or a water bottle, just to bring the ground up towards you a little bit is always a nice option. But again, no props are completely necessary. It's all at your own choice. So thank you for joining me, and let's get started. So if it feels good, we're going to start lying down. And if you have your furry friends near you, you can call them on over. Happy is he's still a little bit of a puppy, so if he's all up in my face at some points, that's why. So if it feels good, go ahead and sprawl out. Take up as much room as you want. Just get comfortable for a moment. And since we're doing a summer yoga flow, and it's been pretty warm the last couple of days, I think it's supposed to cool down in the next few days. But since it's been pretty warm the last couple of days, we've all got some heat in us already. So I thought we'd do a nice cooling flow tonight. Nice way to start our yoga series. So we're still going to move as usual, but the poses and the flows that we're going to do are not going to be over fiery. So they're not going to be overly hot. We're not going to be stoking that fire too much because we really want to keep it a little bit cooler. Because I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of fire the last couple of days because it's been pretty warm. So give yourself a moment, settle down into your space, arriving in your whatever area that you're in, feeling your body, noticing how your body feels today. Knowing where your mind is at. Try not to judge it. There's no right or wrong. If your mind is floating off somewhere, you're making this, just notice it, but you don't need to judge yourself for it. It's not bad or good, it's just where you're at right now. And then notice your breath. Notice your inhale and your exhale. And notice how your breath feels. Does it feel open, flowing? Does it feel a little more shallow? Does it feel choppy? Any words that come up to you, any way that it feels. Again, you're not judging it or telling it that it's good or bad, just noticing where it is right now. And then we're going to begin to manipulate the breath just a little bit. So slowly exhale all of the air out. On your inhale, fill all the way up. So really big inhale, filling all the way up. And once you feel completely full, open your mouth and big sigh out, let it go. Doing that again, inhale, fill all the way up. Once you reach the top, hold it in just for a moment. And then again, big sigh out, let it go. One more time, inhale, fill all the way up. Feeling your top, feeling your complete fullness of breath, and then exhale, let it go through the mouth. And returning to your natural breath. So anytime you feel too warm or anytime you need to get rid of some heat, that exhale through the mouth can really help with that. So at any time through the flow, if you feel like you need to get rid of some heat or even agitation, if you start to feel agitated, you can always exhale through your mouth. It's always allowed. So on your next inhale, take your time, slowly bring your knees up into your chest. Hug your knees in. If it feels good, rock and roll around on your spine a little bit. Massage up your lower back. And then coming back to center, take your feet straight up towards the ceiling. Knees do not have to be totally straight. A little bend or a big bend may feel better. We're just getting started here, so be nice to the backs of the legs. And then we're just going to start with a couple ankle circles, moving the ankles one way, or the feet one way, and then go the other way. And then pointing and flexing through the feet a couple times. Notice how it feels. Again, just noticing, no judgment here. Notice your breath. And then again, bringing your knees back in towards your chest, taking your arms back out into a T if they're not already there, and then drop your knees over to the right, coming into a twist. Let your left shoulder melt down, open up through your heart. Breathe here. Again, we're not forcing, we're not straining. Your knees can come all the way down to the floor if they can get there, or you can place a blanket or a block underneath them if that feels good too. On your next exhale, slowly bring your knees back up to center. And then let's go the other way. Drop your knees over to the left, coming into your twist on the other side. Again, adjusting for this side as you need to, letting that right shoulder melt down to or towards the floor. It doesn't have to get all the way there. Just think about letting that right shoulder get really heavy and turning your head whichever way that feels best. You can look over your right shoulder, your left shoulder, up towards the sky, anything that feels good. Breathing into the space on your right side. On your inhale, bring your knees back to center. And then from here, option to roll over onto one side and use your hands to come up, or if you want to rock and roll again up and down the spine, just making some space. And then when you're ready, coming all the way up. Let's come to seated just for a moment. And I'm going to be picky here just for this one. Cross your right leg in front of your left. I don't know if you can see my legs, but cross your right leg in front of your left, crisscross. Sit up really super tall here. And then from here, you're going to bring your hands out in front of you and start to walk your hands forward, coming into a forward fold over your legs. Breathing here, long deep breaths. Doesn't matter how low you get. Notice the flow of your breath. On your next inhale, take your time, slowly walk all the way back, or walk yourself back up, coming back to seated. And then from here, take your right hand behind you. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Getting really long in the spine. Taking that right shoulder and rolling it way back so you feel really wide in your collarbones. If it feels good to look over your right shoulder, go for it. But again, be really nice to your neck. The twist happens in the upper back, and really you can turn your head whichever way you want to. Inhale, come back to center, and let's go the other way. So bring your left hand, or let's switch your feet first. Switch your feet first, I almost forgot. Left leg in front, and then let's go the other way. Left hand behind you, right hand to your left knee. Inhale, sit up really super tall, and then exhale, twist. Again, twisting from your spine. So twisting, feel your belly twist. Feel your whole rib cage twist to the left, and feel that left shoulder roll way back so you feel really long and wide in your shoulder blades. And then turning your head if you want to, but not straining the neck. The head can really turn whichever way feels best. The twist is really happening in the upper back. Inhale, come back to center. And then one more time, walk your hands forward. Come into that forward fold over your legs. Rooting down through your sit bones, saying hello to your hips. Hello, hips. Breathe here. On your next inhale, walk yourself back up. And let's come onto hands and knees. So again, this might be where you need the padding for your knees, especially if you're on a hard floor. Make sure your knees are nice and protected. So hands are going to come underneath your shoulders, knees come underneath your hips, and let's do a couple rounds of cat-cow. So on your inhale, you're going to arch your spine and look up. And exhale, round your back and drop your head. And then just keep going. Follow your breath. Inhale, arching the spine, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, rounding back. And again, just like in the twist, we're going to keep going. Just like in the twist, try not to overuse the head and neck. So we're dropping the head when we come into the cat pose with the back arched, but as we extend, you don't really have to look up too far because really the motion that we're going for is in the whole spine. So all the way from the tailbone to the lower back, mid back, upper back, to where we're really getting sensation. And the head's just coming along for the ride. Maybe one more, following your breath. You're exhaling into the cat, rounding, inhaling into the cow, extending. And then exhale, take it all the way back. Hips come back towards your heels for child's pose. Dropping your head here. And breathing. Happy has decided to join me. Long deep breaths. So lengthening through the spine. If this bothers your knees, remember you can come up a little bit here. And then on your next inhale, we're going to slide forward onto hands and knees again, and then lower all the way down onto the belly. From here, inhale into a cobra. So you're going to roll up into a cobra, roll your heart up, and then exhale, we're going to go right back into child's pose. So hips come back towards your heels. Drop your head. And then again, inhale, hands and knees. Follow your breath this time. Exhale, lower down. Inhale into a cobra. And exhale back into child's pose. One more time, just like that. So you're just warming up a little bit through the spine and the shoulders. Inhaling, hands and knees. Exhaling, lowering down onto the belly. Follow your breath. Going at your own pace. Inhaling into a cobra. Rolling your heart back. And then exhaling back into child's pose. Good. And then once you get back into your last child's pose, you can choose to stay here, or if it feels good to tuck your toes and lift your knees coming into downward facing dog, go for it. If you move into downward facing dog, if you want to move around a little bit, you can pedal out through your feet, bend your knees, sway your hips, whatever feels good. And then on your next inhale, take your time, slowly walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands, coming into your forward fold at the top of your mat, and breathing here. Long deep breaths. Now, when you're in your forward fold, remember your knees do not have to be totally straight, and anything you want to do with your hands. You can grab your elbows, you can interlace your fingers behind your back, you can just let yourself dangle, you can pet your dog, whatever feels good, do that. And then on your next inhale, take your time, little bend in the knees, slowly roll all the way up to stand, stepping your spine as you go. Once you reach the top, inhale, arms reach up overhead. No rush here though, take your time. And as you exhale, bring your hands into your heart, finding your center, finding your feet. Feel your feet grounding down. Feel the crown of your head reaching up towards the sky. Feel your breath. We're just going to add a little bit of movement with breath, starting with a half salutation. So as you inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. So exhaling all the way down into the fold. Inhale, come about halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way back up, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, hands come to heart. And one more time, just like that. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Moving with your breath, inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart. Let's do one more. Inhale, arms reach up. Just because it feels good now. Exhale, fold forward. Think of it as a breathing practice. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, hands come to heart. And we're going to add on a little bit here. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Just like a breathing practice. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. My other dog has joined us. Inhale, step your left foot back. Coming back into a lunge. Bring your left knee down to the floor. This is Lucy. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Low lunge. Tailbone comes down, low belly lifts, heart opens up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down to the floor and straighten your right leg. So right leg doesn't have to be completely straight. Pause there just for a moment. Take a couple breaths. While my dogs were fun, they were taking over the picture. Long deep breaths here. So right leg is straight-ish. Breathing here, another breath or two. And then as you exhale, bend your front knee, plant your hands, and step yourself back. Downward facing dog or hips to heels for child's pose. So either down dog or down on your knees, hips come back towards your heels. Remember to choose the variation of the pose that feels best to you, or the pose that feels best to you. There's no perfect pose, there's no perfect flow. It's just where are you at today and what do you need? And on your next inhale, take your time. Slowly step your left foot forward. Don't forget to step. Remember, just help it along the way. So your left foot comes between your hands. And then bring your back knee down to the floor. And inhale, arms reach up overhead. Low lunge. Tailbone comes down, low belly lifts, heart opens up. And then exhale, hands come down to the floor. And we're going to straighten the left leg this time. Couple of breaths here. Long, deep breaths. Feel the sensation in your back of your leg. Feel the flow of your breath. And remember that left leg doesn't have to be totally straight. A little bend or a big bend may feel better. And you can always put your hands up on your blocks or your water bottles, whatever you've got. Work with what you've got, right? Give yourself another breath. And then exhale, bending your front knee. We're going to step the back foot forward to meet the front foot, coming back into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Just like a breathing practice. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up. And exhale, hands come to heart. Taking a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms reach up. You're going to do side two. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen, get long. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands, step your right foot back this time. Bring your right knee to the floor. Inhale, look forward, get long. And bring your arms all the way up if that feels good. Remember, you can always keep your hands low or bring your hands onto your thigh. Sometimes this pose is really wobbly. And so if you feel wobbly, you're not doing it wrong. It's just the way it is. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. And straighten your left leg. Remember, straight-ish. Hello, hamstrings. Long deep breath. Ardha Hanuman. This is fun. Lengthen your spine. Notice how you're feeling. But as you exhale, bend your front knee. We're going to plant the hands again. Step your left foot back. Coming back into your downward facing dog or your child's pose. Either one. Give yourself a breath or two here. And then on your next inhale, take your time, slowly step your right foot forward between your hands. Bring your back knee down to the floor. And inhale. Again, hands can stay low or arms reach up. Long deep breaths. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. One more time, straighten that front leg. Left hip stacks on top of left knee. Right leg is straight-ish. Long deep breaths. Sometimes it doesn't take very much to feel this pose, so do what you need to do to make it work for your body today. And on your next exhale, you're going to bend your front knee. Tuck your back toes under, step your back foot forward to meet your front foot, come back into your fold. Inhale to lengthen, get long in your spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart. Finding your center, finding your feet, taking a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. All right, so from here, I'm going to turn towards you, but you can stay where you are. We're going to shift into tree. So you're going to keep your right foot grounded, left foot's going to pop up, bringing your foot to your ankle, your calf. If you want to bring it all the way up onto your thigh today, every day is different. Breathe here. Turning that left leg out from the hip and breathing. Hands can stay at your heart. You can grab onto a table or a wall where you can reach your arms up overhead. Anything you want to do here, breathe. Finding your center here. So balancing poses are different every day. And sometimes it has to do with how our body's feeling, right? Because some days our balance is just off. But sometimes it also has to do with where our mind is at. So if your mind is roaming all over the place, it's harder to balance. So if you can bring your mind back to where you are, maybe focus your eyes on one thing kind of down and in front of you, it can help a little bit. Sometimes. Give yourself another breath. And then on your exhale, slowly bring your hands to your heart. Bring your knee back to center and lower your leg. Good. On your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead. We'll do the other side, I promise. Exhale, dive forward, forward, forward. We're just not quite there yet. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Plantar again, step your left foot back. Anchor down your back heel, and we're going to come up into warrior one. So back heel's going to come down to the floor, planting both feet down really firmly. Arms reach up by your ears, turning your heart towards that front knee. Reaching forward with your heart. Reaching your arms up towards the sky. And then keep your back leg really strong. So that back leg is really supporting you. Long deep breaths here. On your next exhale, let's open it up into warrior two. So arms come out into a T. Front heel is going to kind of line up with the arch of your back foot. And breathe here. Feel your toes of your front foot. If you feel like you're over gripping, see if you can let those go. Notice your breath. Notice how you're feeling. On your next inhale, take your left hand back to your left leg. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Proud warrior, lengthen out the right side. Making some space here. Feel that front foot planted firmly down. And again, that back leg, instead of letting it bend a little bit, see if you can keep it really strong. And then inhale, come back into warrior two. One more here. We're going to straighten the front leg. Reach way forward with the right hand. Right hand's going to come down to the shin, to the floor, wherever it falls. Left arm reaches up, opening up towards the sky. And breathe. Long, deep breaths. Rotate your heart open. And just like with all the twists and everything we were doing at the beginning, it doesn't matter where you look. You can look down, you can look sideways, you can look up, but keep rolling that left shoulder back so you're really wide in your collarbones and open through your heart. And on your next inhale, a little bend in that front knee. Let's come back up into warrior two. And as you exhale, bring both hands down to the floor. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. and bring your back knee down to the floor. So we're back in our lunge. We're not going to come up this time. We're going to stay low. Take a deep inhale here. Look forward. And then as you exhale, straighten your front leg again. We're going to do this one a couple times today. Breathe. So if you're a runner or if your hamstrings are a little bit tight, this pose, you may feel a lot here, but it's a really good one. So just hang with it, breathe into it, and don't overdo it. So try, if you're grinding your teeth here, back off a little bit and bend the knee. Be nice to yourself. Give yourself another breath. And remember, we're not trying to create agitation or fire, so if you feel agitated or fiery in this pose, back off of it. And then on your next exhale, bend your front knee, plant your hands. Let's step it back into downward facing dog or child's pose. Give yourself a breath here. And then on your next inhale, let's slide forward into a plank or a kneeling plank. Breathe here. Feel your hands. We're not going to be here too long, just to say hello to the core. Okay, core. And then exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, roll your shoulders back for a cobra. Plant your feet down. Open up your heart. Again, head just comes along for the ride. So trying to keep the head in line with the spine. Don't have to overdo it with the head. And then exhale, press yourself back. Either child's pose again or downward facing dog. Couple of breaths. Feel your hands, feel your feet. Feel any point of contact with the floor. Feel your breath. But on your next inhale, take your time. We're going to slowly just walk the feet all the way forward to meet the hands. So any way you want to get there, go for it. Coming into your forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Last one we're going to do here, I'm going to turn towards you again, but you can stay where you are. You're going to wiggle your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Turn your toes out and your heels in. And we're going to pop down into a squat. So your squat might be a little bit higher. You may be up here. You may come down a little bit lower, or if you want to come all the way down, go for it. If you come down and your heels pop up, don't panic. That's not wrong. You can keep your heels up, or if you want to roll up a blanket or even your mat and place them underneath your heels so you have something to ground down into, you can do that too. Couple of breaths, lengthen your spine. We're not trying to be perfect. We're not trying to change anything. We're just trying to notice where we are right now. Because this is what we've got. Breathe into that. And maybe just because we're here, let's do a big breath out of the mouth. So inhale, fill all the way up. Exhale, big sigh out of the mouth, let it go. Again, inhale, fill all the way up. Exhale, big sigh out of the mouth, let it go. And one more time, inhale. Exhale, letting go. Anger, agitation, anything you've got going on, letting it go. And then releasing your hands down to the floor, straighten your legs. Go wiggle your feet back so they're about hip width apart, right where they normally go. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up, reach your arms up overhead, opening up. And exhale, hands come to heart. Finding your center. Taking a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. All right, side two, here we go. So I'm gonna turn towards you again, you don't have to move. We're gonna come into that tree on your left side. So left foot's gonna ground down, right foot's gonna pop up, and again, you're gonna find tree, ankle, you can kickstand it on the floor, bring it up to your ankle, your calf, all the way up onto your thigh, if you want to. Remember, turning that leg out from the hip, so there's no strain on your knee. Pressing your foot into your leg and your leg back into your foot. And then again, if you want to do something with your hands, you can grab onto any objects near you. You can take your arms out, you can take them up. You can leave your hands at your heart. Breathe. Feel your feet. Feel the crown of your head reaching up towards the sky. Notice where your mind is. Notice where your gaze is. Remember, having one thing to look at, that's probably not me because I'm moving a little bit here. So it's one thing to look at that still can sometimes help. Give yourself another breath. And then bringing your hands back to your heart if you move them. Bring your knee back to center and lower your leg. Guys, inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, dive forward, come into your forward fold. So just moving with your breath, no rush here. Inhale, lengthen your spine like you're moving through water. Exhale, fold forward. And then on your inhale, step your right foot back. You're moving to the other side of my mat so you can see me. Anchor down your back heel and come all the way up, warrior one. So again, no need for you to move. I've just changed sides here. Breathe here. Long deep breaths. Ground down through your feet. Reach up through the crown of your head and your fingertips. Notice that as you reach up through your fingertips to your shoulders, come with you towards your ears. See if you can drop your shoulders down. Long deep breaths. Keep that back leg really strong. It's there to support you. And then exhale, open it up into warrior two. So arms come out into a T. Left arm reaches forward over your left leg. Right arm reaches back over your right leg. Breathe here. Long deep breaths. Feel your feet grounding down. Notice your gaze. On your next inhale, take your right hand back to your right leg. Reach your left arm up towards the sky. Open up that left side. Breathe into your left side. And then inhale, come back into warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Really long in your spine. Reach way forward with your left hand. Left hand comes down. Right arm reaches up. And again, anywhere you want to look with your head. But notice you're not using your head to twist open. Your head is just coming along for the ride. So you can look down if that feels better in your neck. You can look sideways. You can look up, but make sure you keep your chin tucked in a little bit so you're not straining your neck. And breathe. Take that right shoulder, slide it way back so you feel really wide in your collarbones. Feel the opening in your heart. And lengthen both sides of your body, your left side and your right side. And then on your next inhale, a little bend in that front knee, come all the way back up. Warrior two. And exhale, bring both hands down to the floor. You're going to pivot onto the ball of the back foot and bring your back knee down to the floor. Again, stay here just for a moment, lengthen your spine. And then on your exhale, you're going to straighten your front leg, and fold forward. All of your front legs straight and stay. Breathe. Again, hello to the back of the left leg. Going just so far that you feel sensation, but not so far that you start to grind your teeth or your eyes start to pop out or you start to get upset. Breathe. Long deep breaths. Hello, back of the leg. Good. On your next inhale, bend your front knee, come back into your lunge. Tuck your back toes under. Let's step your left foot back to meet your right. Come back into a plank or a kneeling plank. So you can be here, you can be here. Whichever one feels best, do that. Give yourself a breath. My dog likes it when I'm in this position. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale into a cobra, roll your shoulders back. Like you're the same size as me right now. Exhale, come back into down dog or child's pose. Breathe. Long deep breaths. And then on your next inhale, just like before, slowly walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands. Coming into your forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, once you get there, lengthen your spine. Come about halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. From here, you're going to wiggle your feet. Again, I'm going to turn towards you. Wiggle your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Turn your toes out and your heels in. And we're going to come down into our squat. Anywhere, any amount you want to come down. So a little bit, a lot. There's not a variation that's better than another variation. If you come down a little bit, if you come down a lot, it doesn't matter. Be nice to your knees. That's what matters. And then breathe here. And one more time, let's do that cooling breath because it feels nice. So on your inhale, fill all the way up. Exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Inhale, fill all the way up. Exhale, big sigh out, let it go. One more time, inhale. As you exhale, let go of something you need to let go of. Maybe in your mind, maybe physically, let it go. And then when you're ready, slowly straighten your legs. Wiggle your feet back so they're about hip width apart. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Bless you. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart. Take a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. Okay, we're going to do one more round. So here we go. I'm going to go back to side one. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. This time, grab your right wrist with your left hand, and we're going to side bend over to the left. So getting really long on the right side. Lengthen out. Inhale, come back to center. Switch your hands, and let's go the other way. So root down on your feet. Lengthen out the left side. Side bend over to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands come to heart. Good. From here, keep your right foot down. We're going to come into tree again. So right foot comes down, left foot to your ankle, your calf, all the way up under your thigh. Find your tree. We're not going to hold it quite as long this time. So finding your gazing point, finding your hand variation. Noticing how the shape makes you feel. And then bringing your hands back to center, bringing your knee back to center, lower your leg. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Like you're moving through water. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your left foot back. Anchored on your back heel, we're going to come up into warrior one again. So arms are going to reach up by your ears. And then turn your heart so your heart is shining forward over that front knee. And lengthen your spine. Keep that back leg really strong. Another breath. And then exhale into warrior two. So arms come out into a T. Front heel is going to kind of line up with the arch of your back foot. Feel your feet grounding down. Feel the length in your spine. On your inhale, take your left hand back to your left leg. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. On your next exhale, come back into warrior two. Inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, reach way forward. Find your triangle pose. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches up. Open up your heart. Take a deep breath here. On your next inhale, little bend in that front knee. Come all the way back up into warrior two. Exhale, both hands are going to come down to the floor. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot and bring your back knee down. That's where we're going to go. Straighten your front leg one more time. One more time on the right side. It might feel good by now. It might not. Long deep breaths. If you want to flex your toes here, if you want to go a little bit further into it, if you're somebody who's very bendy and want to wiggle your front foot forward and pop your back knee back, front and back, until you get more into like a split. Try and keep your hips square. That's a Hanumanasana. So hips stay square. Front heel is dragging back, like it's dragging towards your back knee, and back knee is dragging forward. So no matter how far you are into this pose, you're still really squaring your hips actively and keeping your legs very active. And you don't want to go any further than what feels good in your body. Listen to your body. But on your next exhale, bend your front knee. Hardest part of this pose is getting out of it. Step your right foot back. Coming back into a plank or a kneeling plank. If you want to skip this part and go right back into down dog or child's pose, please listen to your body. The vinyasa is here to build heat. And remember, we're not trying to build too much heat today. We're trying to stay pretty cool. So if you want to, exhale, lower down. Inhale into a cobra. Open up your heart. And exhale, downward facing dog. Or child's pose. Breathe. And one more time, slowly walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands. Coming back into your forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, wiggle your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Turn your toes out and your heels in. You're all experts now. Squat pose. So any variation of squat, go for it. Couple of breaths, lengthen your spine. Squat is very grounding. It's very good for your hips. It's also really good for your ankles and feet. Breathe here. It's one of those all-around good poses. And just one time, inhale, big inhale. Big exhale, out of the mouth, let it go. Bring your hands down to the floor, straighten your legs. Wiggle your feet back towards each other. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up, put your arms up overhead, opening up. Exhale, hands come to heart, finding your center. Pausing here just for a moment, take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. One more side, here we go. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Grab your left wrist with your right hand, side bend over towards the right, root down through both feet. Inhale, back to center. Switch your hands, go the other way. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands come to heart. Good, rooting down into your left foot. Right foot's gonna pop up. Again, find your tree. Any type of tree you wanna be today. And breathe. Hands come to heart, arms can reach up or out. Anything you wanna do here, find your gazing point. Notice how it feels. Remember, if you got something close to you can grab onto, go for it. Give yourself any support that you need. Bring your hands back to your heart if you move them. Bring your knee back to center and lower your leg. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold like you're moving through water. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, clench your hands, right foot steps back. We're gonna anchor down the back heel, and one more time, warrior one, arms reach up. So there's that little twist in warrior one. We're twisting towards the left leg of the upper body. Keep the back leg really strong. Feel your feet grounding down. Feel your heart shining forward over that front knee. And then exhale, open it up into warrior two. Arms come out into a T. Front heel's gonna line up with the arch of your back foot. Kinda. Breathe. Don't force it though. Everybody's hips are different. So move your feet into a position that feels comfortable for your hips and knees. Give yourself another breath. And then on your inhale, you're gonna take your right hand back to your right leg. Left arm's gonna reach up towards the sky, opening up that side body a little bit more. And then on your next inhale, come back into warrior two. As you exhale, you're gonna straighten your front leg, reach way forward with your left hand. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches up. Doesn't matter how low you get, just going for opening through the heart and length through the side body. So don't go so low that you don't feel that opening. Breathe. Remember, turn your head in a way that feels good and helps the shape that you're in. Doesn't make you grind your teeth. Inhale, little bend in that front knee, come back up into warrior two. And as you exhale, bring both hands down to the floor. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Bring the back knee down to the floor. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And one more time, straighten front leg. Ardha Hanuman. Breathe. Remember, if you want to slide a little bit further into this, you wiggle your front foot forward a little bit, wiggle your back knee back, front back, front back, front back, and you continue to go down just so far that your eyeballs don't start to pop out. I'm going to stay a little bit out of it today, so I want you to listen to your body, because it's very, very smart, and it will tell you what you need to do. Be nice to your knees, be nice to your hips, keep squaring your hips. So again, that front heel is pulling back towards that back knee, and that back knee is pulling forward towards your front heel, so you feel nice and square and stable in your hips. Long deep breaths. And on your next exhale, take your time, slowly bend your front knee. Let's step the left foot back. Coming back into your plank or your kneeling plank, or skip it. Remember, if you feel warm enough, skip this pose. Exhale to lower down. Hello. Inhale into a cobra. And exhaling back, downward facing dog or child's pose. Couple of breaths. Happy left foot way. Good. On your next inhale, slowly walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands, just finishing it off. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Wiggle your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Turn your toes out and your heels in. And one more time. Squat. Any size squat you want to do. Supporting yourself as you need to. And sometimes supporting yourself means backing off a little bit. Sometimes it means going into a little bit further into the pose. But only if it feels supportful. Only if it feels supportful. Only if you feel supported in your body and in your mind. Long deep breath. We're making up new words today. Long deep breaths. And then again, slowly exhale all of the air out. One big breath here. Inhale, fill all the way up. And then exhale, big sigh out of the mouth. Let it go. Good. On your next exhale, straighten your legs, wiggle your feet back towards each other. Come back into your fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, hands come to heart. Take a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. Okay, so from here, we're going to take it all the way down to the floor. So inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. No rush here. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. You're going to step it back. I'm going to give you the option. You can step it back, go right back into your child's pose or down dog. Or if you want one more flow, if you're feeling like it's not too much, you can come into your plank and exhale to lower down. Inhale into a cobra. And then exhaling back, downward facing dog or child's pose, whichever one feels best. Then on your next inhale, if you're in your down dog, slowly make your way back into child's pose. Feel yourself grounding down, feel the flow of your breath. And then from here, you're going to come about halfway up. Walk both hands over to the right. So we're staying in child's pose. Walk both hands over to the right. You're going to reach your left hand a little bit further away and then root your hips way back and drop your head. So it's like you're coming into child's pose, just laying over your right leg. You're going to feel this stretch in the left side of the body. And breathe. Killing me here. Long deep breaths. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So walk both hands over to the left. Reach your right hand a little bit further away. And then coming down into child's pose, breathing into your right side. And inhale, come back to center. And then come all the way up to seated. Okay, so from here, take both feet straight out in front of you. And then from here, if you have a blanket nearby or if you want to roll up your mat so you can sit up a little bit, sometimes that's nice to have a little bit of a lift. Otherwise, legs can be straight or bent. So you really feel like you're sitting on top of your sit bones. Your legs do not have to be totally straight here. On your inhale, you're going to reach your arms up towards the sky, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, hinge forward from your hips, coming into your forward fold. Hands can be wherever they fall. They can come onto your thighs, your shins, the floor, your feet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how low you get. We're just going again for sensation. You want to try and keep your spine pretty long here. Feel your sit bones grounding down. Feel the flow of your breath. On your inhale, come all the way back up. And from here, bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. Adho Konasana, bound angle pose. Sit up really super tall here. Pause here just for a couple of breaths with a long spine. Without needing to fold forward, we'll get there, so don't rush into it. Give yourself a moment. Let your legs get heavy. Feel your sit bones grounding down. Feel the length of your spine. Notice what it feels like just to be here without needing to go anywhere, without needing to change anything. And then again, you can choose to stay, or if it feels good now to start to hinge forward into a fold, go for it. But only do it if it serves your body, if it feels good, if you feel supported. Long, deep breaths. On your next inhale, slowly come all the way back up. Use your hands, grab the outsides of your legs, and bring your knees back together. From here, we're going to come all the way back onto our backs. Knees bent, feet on the floor. We're going to do a rolling bridge. So feet are going to be hip width apart, really close in toward your sit bones. Arms come down by your sides. As you inhale, you're going to lift your hips, come up into bridge. If you want to take your arms up and overhead as you do that, you can. If it feels better to keep your arms down by your sides, you can do that too. As you exhale, we're going to bring it all back down. So moving with your breath, inhaling all the way up. And exhaling all the way down. Feeling that pause in between each. Feeling both feet firmly planted on the floor. So sometimes the feet have a tendency to turn in or out in this pose. Maybe your big toes get light. Maybe your pinky toes get light. Just notice and see if you can plant both feet firmly and evenly down on the floor as you move through this rolling bridge. Maybe do one or two more depending on how fast you're going. And the next time your hips are all the way down, you're going to pause. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Keep your knees bent and drop both of your knees over to the left. Take your arms out either into a T if that feels good, or if it feels good to take your arms overhead, you can do that too, whatever feels best here. If it feels good to stay here, please stay. If it doesn't compromise your knees or your hips in any way, take your left ankle and place it on top of your right thigh, getting a little bit more into that side body. Breathing here. But again, be nice to your knees and your hips. It's very important. And when you feel ready, slowly unwind. Bring both knees back up the center, squaring off your hips. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So feet are mat width apart, knees are bent. Drop your knees over to the right. Pause there just for a moment. Maybe find an arm variation that feels nice and supportive to you. And then again, choose to stay, or maybe take that right ankle and cross it over the left thigh, making a little bit more space in that side body. Breathe. You want this to feel pretty good. And on your next inhale, when you're ready, unwind, bring your knees back to center. If it feels good now, hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe rock and roll around a little bit. And choose. Notice how you feel. Are you ready for your final relaxation, for your Shavasana? Or do you feel like you need a happy baby or a twist? Or, you can also do something that doesn't have a name. It doesn't always have to be a named pose. Just whatever feels good in your body. Give yourself a moment. And I'm going to sit up, but I want you to get really comfortable. Maybe grab a blanket or a sweatshirt. One of the nice things about practicing at home is you have all the space and supplies you need to get really cozy. So let yourself get really cozy. And then no rush at all. No rush at all. But when you feel ready, start to drop down into your final relaxation, into your Shavasana. Feeling your arms and legs get really heavy. Letting go of the work. The work is done. Feel the head, crown of the head, the third eye, that space in between your eyebrows. Feeling your jaw, center of the throat. Feeling and relaxing both shoulders. Feel your shoulder blades on the floor, supported. Feel both arms heavy, hands, even fingers, releasing, relaxing, letting go. And then allow that relaxation to continue to spread through your heart space, your chest, feeling the rise and fall of your breath. Easy, gentle, and allowing that relaxation to spread down into your abdomen, your belly, and feeling it softening as each exhale passes through. Continue to allow that relaxation to spread down into your legs, your hips, down into your knees. Maybe let the feet turn out. Calves feel supported. Heels supported. And your feet and your toes completely relax. And I'm going to be quiet here for about a minute or two. I'm not going to go anywhere, but give yourself these couple of quiet minutes just to be. Nowhere to go, just be. And if you have this time, please stay longer in your Shavasana, giving yourself the time and space just to soak it up and enjoy quiet. But if you do have the 1 hour time limit, we are right there. So start by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Taking a moment to roll all the way over onto your right or left side. And then again, when you are ready, don't rush. Use your hands to come up to seated. And when you feel ready, sealing in your practice, bringing your hands to your heart, finding your center. Taking a moment to thank yourself for taking the time to move and breathe and find some peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will be back same time next week. Thank you.